How's it going, guys?
Hello,
How you
hello.
doing?
Doing well.
All right, well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the first XRP Army News Community Channel Roundtable. And it is an honor and a pleasure to be able to introduce Digital Diesel. So say hello, Daniel.
Hey, guys.
And Thomas, which is Extra Hardcore XRP.
How's it going? Good to see you.
And Crypto Siege.
What's up, guys?
And Crypto Ice.
Hey there.
And XR Plumber. And everybody, what our purpose in our live, thank you. What our purpose is today in our live stream is I began with a vision of what this channel could be all about. And I felt like that I could be the XRP storyteller. So I went out and began inviting people to tell their story in a moment in time. And I was honored and blessed and to be able to have accomplished that with each of the people that are on this roundtable tonight. And so I thought, because of something that Siege said yesterday in his video, that I hope that Scott takes this into a little bit more of a deeper dive. Okay, well, I thought, well, maybe what if we got some of the people together that had told their story so they could all get a chance to meet each other and get to know each other a little bit better. And the other thing that I'd like to do this evening is give every one of you guys the opportunity to share with everybody in the community what you felt like was the most exciting thing possibly that you saw this week in the development of our crypto journey. All right, so how does that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, so Siege, since you were a large part of the inspiration of why I'm doing this, you get to have the hot seat. So let us know what was the most exciting, and here's your 5 of your new friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, for me, when I said that the other day about you going deeper into the community, because I really do believe that we're in the midst of making history. We're part of history. I really believe that. But I think our stories are just as significant as those stories of the people that were on the movie banking on Bitcoin. I think we're just as significant, and our stories are just as important and should be told, really, because the community as a whole, the XRP community as a whole is ginormous, number one. And there's a lot of stories, right? There's a lot of great stories there. So but my biggest thing, I think, for this week is probably it's anything that Brian Brooks is doing, right? So anything that Brian is doing from the OCC, I think is significant. I think it's pivotal. I don't think it's a coincidence that he's there. I think it's very intentional. And so any move that he makes, I think I think we all should pay attention to it. I find it very, very fascinating that the first place he looked to give some type of clarity was in the stablecoin market space. I think that's very interesting for me.
Wonderful.
Yep.
All right, so let's say, Isaac, what do you feel like was the most exciting thing that you saw this week? And if you want to introduce everyone again to who you are and what you feel like really moved the needle in your mind this week.
Okay, yeah, this is Crypto Ice, and I want to add on what Crypto Siege said was basically the stable coins. I see that as like a bridge between the traditional rails and the digital rail, right? So we're starting to see that lay out. And then that article by XRP Crypto Wolf put out talking about the digital dollar in every American account. I just thought those two kind of coincided. Like, if we can get
Whoops.
We lost the sound.
You still there?
Yeah.
If we can get a digital dollar in every account, then those stable coins are gonna kind of help that process of bridging into the next world. That was my thought.
Yeah.
And Thomas, you've been with us longer than anybody in the crypto and XRP space. Do you kind of have anything going on that you've seen recently that have been the developments that have gotten you the most excited?
Well, it's like every day you see something new, it seems like. So to pick any one thing out, I would just say that I wouldn't say I'm desensitized to Ripple news, but everything that I see, like every day, it's like, oh, they made a partnership here. There's a nonprofit over here. Today I saw a tweet, XRP Ledger Foundation. They launched a foundation. It's independent nonprofit focusing on the growth, innovation, development of the XRPL and XRP community. It's just there's a lot of groups involved in XRP. Whether they're invested in the community, the local communities, pushing regulation. I'm not really surprised. I think the thing I had a chuckle about as of recently is there was an article about India again banning crypto or something about crypto, and then Navin Gupta followed up. I don't know if it was today or yesterday that they've just secured another partnership with a bank from India. So that had me scratching my head a bit. I'm like, okay, well, smoke and mirrors, maybe, I don't know, but there's still, it doesn't seem like Ripple's backing down or getting pushed to the side. Like where there's smoke, there's probably fire, and somewhere Ripple or XRP's involved.
Well said. And Daniel, how about you? Anything this week that kind of piqued your interest?
Yeah, absolutely. So I kind of piggyback off of Siege's first comment there in regards to Brian Brooks. I think anything he does at this moment in time is pretty pivotal to the community and to the space. And then the second part, more recently here, I don't know if you guys seen it yet or not, but Brad Garlinghouse's tweet earlier in regards to CBDCs and the importance of the interoperability there. That's it all goes back to that, in my personal opinion, and bridging these assets together. So absolutely, I think those two are. It's pretty much it for me. So spot on.
What is it, about 70% of banks are going to be something like that? They're going to issue their own CB, central bank digital coins. So that's a lot of bridging.
That's
Absolutely.
a lot of Absolutely.
Absolutely. He also points out that if it's if they're not prioritizing that, right, it's they're just rebuilding the same system that we currently have in place. Huge.
Exactly.
And one of the things also that I wanted to be able to mention to all of you guys is a couple of things that I'm working on and be able to get your impressions of what that is. One thing I wanted to share my screen real quick. This is something that we're working on, and it's one of the reasons that I'm so delighted that I've run into Thomas because he is a graphic artist, and he's helping us with creating the cover for this. And I'd like to just kind of switch over to show everybody watching the live stream what this looks like. So everybody can see the screen.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. So
yes.
This is something that we're all working on. Again, all of you guys were gracious enough to be able to come together and work with me and get your moment in time put together. And then what we're doing is turning these into flip books. And so how that works is it's like an ebook, and all of these are going to be able to be made available to everyone at no cost. Because what I want to be able to do is create content that we can all share together. And I'm a big believer in stories. I've been in sales for 35 years, and stories sell, facts tell. And my hope is that if we can provide these and get all of our stories on record and then document them in video and ebook. And so it kind of looks like this when you flip the page. And this is Darren, XRP's on the left. And so it's what he said in this moment in time. And then at the bottom, a link to his video. And then the next one, Jay Duncan. And so I kind of believe that guy, that gives everyone kind of an idea about that. And so, Daniel, you kind of see here what we're doing with that. How do you feel about how that will help us if we utilize that?
Well, I think it's great. I think it brings exposure to us, and the more this community grows and we spread the message out there, the more people just gives someone to an opportunity to take a look at the people in the space, right, and how they got into it and so forth. So absolutely.
Anybody else?
I think I just want to point out too. It's I love the idea because crypto is maybe not so new now, but to a lot of people it's new, and it's just really neat to see the different avenues where people learn about whether it's Bitcoin or XRP. Seems like everyone here might see a little something about Bitcoin in the papers or in the news, but eventually, somewhere, somehow, XRP is dropped on them. And if you're like myself, I'm sure all of you are here. Some of you guys watching, which big shout out to the live chat, by the way. Yeah, it's just really interesting. Somewhere along the way, someone was like, well, let me tell you about Ripple and this asset XRP, what's going on there. So to me, that's pretty cool. I mean, people recognize value in the asset for a lot of different reasons. And there's a lot of different reasons to, value XRP. So a lot of different ways. Super interesting.
Thank you. And XR Plumber, I see that you've been able to return. Are you able to say hello again? His mic was muted. So okay. So see, do you see an advantage of all of us having our stories collected, and then we're able to go out and share them with other people?
Well, yeah, I do, especially with your skill set and kind of marketing, right, and kind of taking that out, whether it be on Google or YouTube. So I think that definitely helps. But like what Crypto Eddie said when you were interviewing her, I think it was really, really profound because she was looking at 10 years from now and 20 years from now. And again, I think that is significant to be able to tell that story and have that story be told. Because I just watched. It's funny. I just watched Banking on Bitcoin like 2 days ago, and I literally lost it. Like I was like a 14-year-old kid when I saw Jed McCaleb. Like I was like, that's freaking Jed McCaleb right there. Like I didn't know this. I didn't even know he created Mt. Gox. I didn't even know that. And just to see the younger versions of Roger Ver, right? I mean, just to see him, these are like 3 or 4 or 5 clips that he didn't say a word. He had no speaking. They didn't give him one word to say. He couldn't even say hello. But I just thought it was funny that they actually had him in like 3 or 4 or 5 clips in that movie. And so, if you've been in the space, right? I've only been in the space since 2016, but to see a young Barry Silbert and a young Roger Ver, a younger Jeremy Allaire, I thought was pretty fascinating. And I think that's going to be the case for this community as well, because I think. Ripple's cool and Ripple is awesome in what they're doing. But I think this community is massive, and there's a lot of talent and a lot of stories. And I know, again, it's going to be part of history. So having something for people to look at, 10 years from now, I think it's going to be a pretty cool thing. Right.
I believe that as well. And thank you, Siege. Isaac, how about you? How do you feel about us having all of our stories collected in books to be able to share out with new people?
I think it's great. When you think about we're getting in before the biggest institutions of the world. Mm-hmm. And how many times has this happened? This is like probably the first time in the history of the world that the little guy gets ahead. And so I'm just blown away. So people are going to want to know the people's stories behind that for sure.
Well, and one of the things as well, everybody, that we all have people in our lives, friends and family, acquaintances, that we have tried to approach and share what this is all about. I mean, we're all pretty much obsessed with this. We look at this stuff all the time. We're captivated by it. We see it. Well, when you want to begin to persuade another person to take a look at something and transfer the belief and the confidence that you have in something, the best way to get them to open up their mind is through a story. And, you know, Siege is an air traffic controller. Well, I live not too far from Raleigh-Durham Airport, and I guarantee you, if I run into an air traffic controller, I'm going to show them Siege's story. If I run into an artist, I'm going to show them Thomas's story. If I run into a counselor, I'm going to show them Isaac's story. If I run into a former military person, I'm going to show them Daniel's story. And then their mind psychologically is going to be just opened up just a little bit more. And then if they're open for more information, then I'll bring on a news video. And so I believe that if we can help to educate everyone on an effective way to be able to share Ripple and XRP, then it'll make it a lot easier when we're going out to friends and family, because we've all had people that we love that we are attempting to share this with, and they just won't listen. You know, I do too. So sharing with stories is something that that is one of the reasons why I'm trying to put these ebooks together. And again, they'll be available for anyone who wants to document their own personal history in the making, and then as a way that we may be able to better share Ripple and XRP with other people. One other thing that I wanted to show everybody real quick is another thing that I'm able to do. My partner and I own a digital marketing company, and one of the things that we can do is we can place Google content. And what I'm hoping to do is kind of give you guys a snapshot of this, and then you can kind of use your imagination to see what you believe it could end up being scaled. And ending up being scaled is we need the support of the community to push the content, look at the content, and get your moment in time done, and then I can do this in your area around you. So let me share this really quick. All right, so Isaac lives in Utah. He did his moment in time video. And can everybody see the screen again?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, so what I was able to do was push his content out, all right? And so YouTube decided they bought, Google bought YouTube. So they love video content. So if you treat the video content correctly, you get really good search results targeted where you want it to show up. So I put the entire title, Ripple XRP Army News, Welcome in Time, Sandy, Utah, which is Isaac's video, right? Well, look how Google decided to appreciate us. So, and you guys can all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Does this look like a pretty impressive Google page one? And this is not the video tab. This is the all tab. So
That's pretty good, yeah.
does that look like a pretty good result we would like to have in every city in America?
There you go.
Now look, everybody knows, me included, nobody's going to Google that title. I get it, but look what happens, what Google does if you just shorten the title. And Ripple XRP Sandy, Utah is a searchable term. And you can see we've got Isaac's video showing up as the first result. And then if you go down, this is also the same video in an embed instead of in a thumb. And we're ranking above a beautiful little website called ripple.com. Now, I want to be able,
they gotta love that.
I want to be able to show everyone that this isn't a fluke. So we did the same thing with another city, and this city is Magna, Utah, right? 16,000 results, and again, not Sandy, Utah, but Magma. And again, this is a pretty stout result. And again, this is the all tab, not the video tab. So I've got the ability to do this anywhere in the world because Google is anywhere in the world. So this is not just in the United States, and it's not just around Utah. And then, so that's the long title. And then if we shorten it again, just to the city, then you see what we have here again, 84,000 results. And what I'm doing with Isaac's is I'm putting out 15 of these in cities surrounding Salt Lake City.
Right.
So, and then here is the video again with the embed. Here's the video again with the thumbnail. And again, we're outranking Cointelegraph and Ripple. So if everybody likes that, if everybody in the community will do your moment in time and then give me 15 geographic locations around your city, then I'll put content out around your city. And I don't see any way that this could hurt us. Right,
That's
so,
a good idea.
Isaac, you have impression about how that could help us all?
Oh yeah, I mean, me alone in my Salt Lake City, I've told hundreds of people. So I'm gonna, people are looking things up in my city. They're gonna see me, and hopefully I can represent for you guys.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so the way you did that, Scott. You were typing in you typed in 2 cities, but if someone is, for example, in Isaac's city, in out there in Utah, they don't put the city in, they just type something in, right? Mm-hmm. And so, is Google going to address it based upon where they're living?
That's all going to depend, Siege, on our community. If our community will chip in by watching the content, that's what's going to make it more popular. And again, gotcha. I can post it now, and it depends on the search volume and whatever else Google is showing up in that particular area. Like I live in a little town in North Carolina called Moncure. Mm-hmm. Basically, I can rank in Moncure for anything. I mean, because there's nothing competing with it.
Right.
So when I place content out, what the community can do behind us is to be able to watch that content, and that the more popular that we can make the content, the higher it's going to show up in any of the organic searches in that particular area. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Daniel, do you think it would be a benefit to have 15 videos around Houston?
Absolutely, my friend, absolutely.
And scaled up, if we had thousands of these videos out there in the world, and we were all kind of cooperating together, get moment in time done, Scott's plastering the internet with the content, and then we're kind of watching it when we get a chance to make sure that it's relevant. So the answer is yes. Rick, my techno partner, just typed into me. The answer is yes. If someone is in that geo area, the same results will come up without typing the city. And again, what I'm trying to say, guys, is that I can be a pretty good content distributor. And if we all work together, we can send out a humongous amount of content to the whole world. While we've got something else to now think about it. Would it be better for you to do that than to sit there and look at Fiat League for 5 minutes and watch the little blue dots go?
Yeah.
Hey, it's entertaining to me too. I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying a better use of our time connected together to try to send out more information effectively together, I think could be a use of a good part of our time.
Well, absolutely. And I think one of the more important things for you to do, or for us to do, right, is to kind of point out, the benefits of the way you're going about doing it, right? Because I think we all agree that, This is about having more of us in the space, right? Having more of the average Joe and having, the average Jane in the space, right? And so if you can reach the people who are about, the collective as a whole and not just their individual lane, I think that's where your efforts, quite honestly, should be focused, right? And so that's why, once you realize that, right? And so for me, if I was talking to you over a beer, I would say, people should be reaching out to you, not you having to reach out to people, right? But in order for that to happen, it just takes a few of us to kind of promote the bigger picture and the greater good that you're doing with this channel, right? I think that's kind of really the key. And so I think it's genius in motion. I absolutely love what you're doing. And once we get that game plan, okay, we're part of this. Okay, we get it laid out. What's the game plan to get this working? I know you mentioned 2 or 3 times a week spending 10 minutes watching a video, right? Once the game plan is laid out for the people participating, and then they have it, then they can just follow that game plan. And if they have a channel, or whether or not they have a channel or not, then they can start to kind of promote it. And again, what you're looking to do is a really, really good thing. What you're looking to do with the donations and stuff, I think that's really, really cool, right? And so it's just a matter of getting that bigger picture out. But value your time, my friend, right? Value your time and reach out to the people, or have work with the willing, like I said, right? And so if you're coming up against some ghosting or lack of responses, spend your valuable time elsewhere, because there's a lot of people out there that are willing to participate in this. You just gotta get the word out, yeah. Because I think that for the most part, most of us, are concentrated on the greater good, the bigger picture, right? So
I believe that as well, and I do think that it's a good time. And I wanted to make an official announcement, and I think you guys already know. All right, what my purpose of what I'm trying to do with the community channel is all about. But just in case anyone is watching this and they don't know, I want to make sure that I get it on the record, official. Our XRP Army News community channel is about 120 hours away from being monetized. So that will happen probably in a week or so. Our view volume has rapidly been going up. And, to somebody like DAI or somebody like Crypto Eddie or somebody like Kevin Cage or Bearable Bull, 120 watch hours, they do that with one video, right? But as people are up and coming and building their audience and their channel, 120 hours takes, maybe take a week. But what I wanted to make an official announcement, so it's on the record and everybody knows, when our channel, is monetized with YouTube, every penny that YouTube gives to Scott and Rick, my business partner, we're donating that to charity. Now, a little bit of a backstory, just so people know, I spent 4 months before this trying to put together a fundraiser in our XRP community. I got it named the XRP Army Dent in the Universe fundraiser. And I want y'all to know something. It took me 4 months. 4 months, Nagabo, to find 5 charities who were willing to take XRP as a donation. I talked to hundreds of charities and got doors slammed in my face and hung up on the phone because the charities in America were not really ready to be able to take crypto. And I finally got it, and then I was ready to go, right? And then I talked to our good friend Jerry Hall, and he said, Scott, I'm telling you right now, man, if you go trying to milk this community for money in crypto, you are going to have a very short, uneventful, painful experience. And I was like, man, 4 months of work and I'm dealing with the charities, and now I got to deal with this. I did all this work and now people don't want to give to charity. And I got it though. So I went back to the drawing board and I said, okay, I can improve this idea somehow. There's got to be a way. I'll keep trying to find it. And then it dawned on me, well, what if I monetize my YouTube channel and all the money goes to charity? And then I'm not asking Isaac for 100 XRP. I'm not asking Thomas for $20. I'm not asking Daniel for anything except what he's already doing. We're all already watching XRP videos every day. So what if we just took 10 minutes a day, 3 days a week, and focused part of that video viewing time, knowing that it was going to the community channel and it was all going to charity? And that's how things came about. And now, guys, I'm this far from being able, with all of your help, I'm this far from being able to go ahead and monetize the channel. And now we can begin. And the other thing that we own in our digital marketing company is we have a press release service. So as, excuse me, as we get our good works done, I can put press releases together and then blast them out everywhere. So I can help be a good, strong megaphone for the good works of our community. And again, I'm not charging anybody anything for anything. I'm doing all of this because I want to help bring our community together. I want to be able to have what I'm trying to do is what happened with Isaac and what happened with Siege, which is the longest journey, and with Daniel and with Thomas, which is the journey of the longest 18 inches in humanity, which is the one from the head to the heart. And I know for a fact that what I've done has traveled from Isaac's head to his heart. I know he gets what it is that I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to help everybody understand that if we can just make a simple shift, 95% me, and then 5% to we. Well, if you can imagine 1,000 people giving 5%, what we can accomplish together, and learning that together we're better, and stop being so selfish, because that's one of the big problems that we've got in the world today, is that we're selfish. I'll say one more thing and get off my soapbox. My dad is a preacher, and it did rub off a little bit on me. All right, so I don't see any, this is the other big motivator for me. I don't see any other community in crypto coming together as a community to send a unified message together. And that we're the most hated crypto community in all of crypto because we're the banker coin guys. So what I'd like to do is turn that energy of the hate that we're getting from everybody else and have our response be an overwhelming random acts of kindness. And if that touches all of you in some way, shape, or form, then all I'm asking you to do is just help me. And if we do this, we can create the most communicative, cooperative, connected community in all of crypto. And that's what it is that I'm trying to do. And I'm asking everyone in the community to join us and to help us. And so I'm going to put myself on mute. It's what I do the best. And I would appreciate it if each one of you guys would kind of give a comment on my little rant.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I'll just say that, I've been part of XRP Community for a while, and then have also researched and kind of tested the waters in other communities. One thing, maybe it's because I've been here the longest, or longer than part of other communities, but it's like stuff like this for the community adds value. Absolutely. Like some communities, they might have a chat room, bulletin board, whatever. Maybe they're primarily on Twitter, and just, again, stuff like this adds value because, we can all read the same tweets, follow the same people, and you're like, who is this person? Like, I have no idea who I'm following. Seems to be bullish. I don't know. But it's just, to me, whenever you put a face behind the name and just kind of get to know that person a little better through these videos, I think you're going to have you got a great thing going here, Scott, you guys, and us as a community, because years down the road, it's going to be a really neat collection, man. you know. And regardless of what happens with XRP, I'm bullish. But you know, it's part of my story. You know, I spend a lot of my free time, extra time, researching, sharing my story with other people. Whoever has questions about XRP, Ripple, what's going on with them, and I think that, and this kind of touches on something you mentioned earlier, as far as bringing people in based on our local communities, and whether that's just at work with the guys and gals, or you know, in our spare time. But in a localized setting, our stories combined with the continued adoption and rails such as Uphold. There's a lot of different avenues now that make it so much easier for people to get into holding and purchasing their first assets. So, you know, Coinbase was a first for a lot of people like myself. And again, I'll mention Uphold again. I mean, you can do everything from your phone pretty much nowadays. I mean, it's just super easy. So adoption, technology, more rails to and from the crypto space with community efforts. You know, I see it as a home run. And I'm still surprised when I run into people that, you know, it seems like most of my conversations, someone's heard of Bitcoin. You know, I'm not surprised at all that people have never heard of Ripple still, but that's where we're at. And it kind of touches on how early we are, just like the Bitcoin movie and the early Bitcoin people. Yeah, I mean, you know, time will tell, but definitely I've heard a lot of people say it before, just to wrap it up, that maybe we don't realize how early we are, especially if we got into it back in 2016 or earlier, or even right now, who knows? But I'm thankful that regulation and in the news, it's still positive, you know, for the most part. So that's all I got, but I'm a fan. We'll keep moving forward.
Scott, I guess I'll go next. I appreciate what you're doing. I kind of think in sport terms. Like, you look at professional sports, the NBA, look at how close the players are. You know, they're part of a small knit community, right? But they all come together and are there for each other. And I think it's the same for us. Like, we are a special community. There are so few of us when you think of us compared to the world. And nothing brings us together like having a higher meaning or purpose. Mm-hmm. And so I think, man, I already have a bond with so many people in this community, but I think that this would strengthen that. And I'm excited about that. So I appreciate what you're doing, Scott. Keep it up.
And I'd like to touch on that for a second, Isaac. You know, I'm a Tar Heel. Both my parents graduated from the University of North Carolina. I'm a diehard Tar Heel fan. Michael Jordan is, without a doubt, the greatest basketball player in the history of the world. And Daniel knows this: we've got the best barbecue in the history of the world, right?
Yes, we do.
He used to live in North Carolina. Okay, so yeah. My point, though, is that how many of you guys ever noticed that Michael Jordan didn't win one basketball game by himself?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Did he have a chance against the bad boys from Detroit if he walked out on the court by himself? There is absolutely no way. He had to have 4 other people on that basketball team on the court and a great coach organizing the plays that they executed. And that's what I'm trying to put together in our XRP Army community, is some teamwork. Because if we all decide to work together, we can send out a louder, more unified message than any of us can do individually. And we got some people out there right now doing fantastically well individually. But again, that doesn't come anywhere close to what we could do together, connected in a strategic alliance as a team. And Daniel, you got a military background. Did you guys ever do anything in the military alone?
No, not at all. Look, it's all about the team, right? And who you have behind you. So, yeah, 100%, Scott.
And Siege, if you'd like to share, and I guess we can wrap this up unless anybody else has got any kind of a final thing that they would like to share with everybody. Siege, you kind of were the one that encouraged me to go a little deeper. This is my attempt to do that. If it's really lame, then guess what? We'll try it next week and see if we can improve.
Right, exactly. No, and I would just say, yeah, look, you got a lot of people in the chat, right? And I think that's really, really cool. I saw XRP Joe. He had a comment that said, cooperation gets more done than competition. And, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I really, really do. I'm not a big fan of competition at all. I think creativity is the key, and what you're doing is very, very creative, right? And I think that's the difference. I would just, I would encourage you to really look at, how you're going to go about doing it. My mentor used to always say to me, you don't go try and build a congregation. You find the choir, right? You put together the choir, and they'll find the congregation, right? So it's not about the many, it's about the few that they resonate with what you're trying to do, right? You find those, and then you can go out and reach the masses, right? So, I just want to encourage you to not get discouraged again by the lack of participation. I just think that it'll be for me, it'll be more interesting to see who doesn't participate in this versus who does, right? To me, that'll speak volumes for what's really kind of going on in our community, and so I like it. I think it's perfect timing. I think the community, unfortunately, was moving towards some kind of walled gardens and, getting a little cliquish, which I'm not a fan of. And so I like what you're doing. And I think it's going to be a bigger picture in a greater good for all. Because I know for me and my channel, it's always about bringing more of us in this space, because I truly do believe this is our chance to win. Right. And so if like Isaac is saying, when has it ever happened that we had an opportunity to act, and participate and act like Wall Street does? Right. And so we have that opportunity here in this space. And so it's important to not blow it. Right. It's important. Right. It's important to come together and not be divisive. Right. So all of these things are hugely important. So I really appreciate what you're doing, brother.
I appreciate that. And so in closing, guys, one thing I would like to say is that I'm a big fan of Napoleon Hill and Think and Grow Rich, and I'm inviting anyone that is on this call in our little round table, and anybody watching this, help me. I am open. I am teachable. If you've got some suggestion and want to be a part of the mastermind of how we are working this out step by step, get in touch with me. I'd like to have the suggestions and have the help. And I'd like to end this by kind of describing one of the life-altering experiences in my life. I watched this video by this guy named Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he was talking about epigenetics. And what he told me was he made a very good analogy with his hand. And see, this goes back to competing or cooperating, right? Right. Well, caveman with a reptilian brain, it was about the size of the tip of my thumb. He was walking out of the cave, and he turned around and looked at her. And she said, "Hey, Buster, if you don't bring back some food, you don't need to be worrying about coming back." And with his reptilian little brain, he turned around and he looked out there. And you know what he saw? Competition. And he saw lack. He didn't know that we live in an abundant universe and there was plenty of food. All he saw was, I'm in trouble. I don't know if I can get enough of this food, right? So he went out and began to compete with the reptilian brain. And that was an error, because in reality, there was plenty of food. All he needed to do was go find it. And all of these other cavemen could have all cooperated together and had a potluck dinner. It would have been beautiful. But they all competed. All right, well, how that has worked its way down throughout history is now we've got money and resources, and 97% of all the world's monetary resources are controlled by 3% of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what, guys? How's that competing stuff working out for all of us? Not working out too good.
Right.
So if we can learn now, go back to your hand, right? Look at the cells in your hand. Did the creator, and whatever you want to call it is fine with me, God, Allah, the spirit of the universe, Jesus' Father, whatever it is you want to call, whatever made all of us, the creator that made us, he put this hand together and these cells in here, and guess what this is? This is a symphony of cellular cooperation. There's not a cell in my hand that's not cooperating with the other cells. And guess what happens if I could pluck one of these cells out and place it down on the table? All by itself. Look at me, how much stuff I've collected all by myself. Look at me, look at me. I've competed and I've won. How long is that cell going to survive outside of the environment of this skin bag?
Right.
Not very long. Not very long. We're here to cooperate and to help each other and to work together. It's in our DNA. It's the way that we were designed. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to do, is to reach to all of your hearts who are watching this video and join with me. Let's connect and cooperate and send out the most unified message to the rest of the world together. And Plumber, did you make it back? Can you talk so you can say hello as we wrap up? He's still muted. And there we go.
How about now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Hey,
Yep.
sorry, man. I got on the road. Work doesn't stop for me. I keep on going. But anyway, y'all had a lot of things to say. And the only thing I want to really add to this whole wonderful thing that you've been doing, is let's have all doing it. This is a joy and a pleasure to be able to come together, and in the process making friends, and just, I mean, it should be a joy to do good and to share and to work towards charity and all. And I think we just need to keep that little asset of it in focus as well. I mean, I know spending this time talking to Scott, it's always fun. And the time we're on the air, I mean, I listen to you guys already. I've seen you guys out there already. These videos are such a wonderful way, besides the charitable part, besides everything else that we're doing, just soaking up the content as a viewer, as a content consumer. It's a great concept already. So the fact that it's going to be taken to the next level and be given to charity, man, that's just the icing on the cake to me. So, I'm all in as far as it goes. Nothing's coming out of my pocket. Hey, why not? That's what I love to share, where it's not someone asking for money. It's just asking for your time, not your dime. You know what I mean? And not even a lot of, I'm not going to say where I used to say that, but anyway, a lot of kids used to hear me say that. So, but anyway, that's the whole point, is that it's not even a lot of time they're asking for. It's just that fraction of what we're already doing. We're sharing, we're communicating, we're on Twitter going back and forth, spreading the word, and we're watching these videos anyway. And you see that name pop up, oh yeah, I saw that guy on Twitter, or oh, I've heard of that, or whatever, I want to find out more about him. And then you find out, and it's a joy. It's fun. So anyway, that's all I want to say, because I had to watch you all from the other side. I was upset because I was driving. I couldn't get into the signal. I couldn't get a signal strong enough to actually stay in the chat. So kind of funny that way. Anyway, God bless you all, and God, everyone's listening in the in the actual live stream. I love you all. Y'all are great.
All right, Plumber.
So appreciate it.
That's all, man.
And so as we wrap up, guys, what I would like all of you to do is kind of, as part of my mastermind team here, we're all in this together. You guys kind of scratch your head together, and we'll do this again next Thursday at 7 o'clock. And let's put our heads together and decide who we would like to have here in the next week, and invite them, and let's have a chance to be able to talk with them. And again, I kind of like the idea of the individual moment in time. And then I like the idea too, is come in on a live stream, in the community live stream, so you can get to know some of the other people in the group. So if that works for you guys, then let's all work on inviting who we would like to be able to hear next week.
Sounds great.
Thanks,
All right.
We'll do it.
All right.
Yeah, I like it.
Everybody take care. God bless. I hope you have a great weekend. We're going to have some football and some golf. And anything I can do to help anyone, just ask. And if I'm able, I'll do it.
Sounds great.
Guys.
And
Great meeting you guys.
Take care,
Great
everyone.
take care. Thank you, everyone in the chat, also for participating.
Absolutely.
Live long and hodl.
Yep.
Take care, everyone.
Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.
Later on, guys.